A man walked down a busy street on a hot afternoon. The man did not look like the others. His shirt was old and torn. In his hands, he carried a small paper bag. He looked weak. On the same street, a young worker was walking out of a coffee shop. The worker looked completely different. He wore a clean suit, polished shoes, and a shiny watch. In one hand, he carried a hot cup of coffee, and in the other, his phone. He looked busy and important, like someone who had no time to waste. The worker noticed the poor man across the road. For a second, he stared. In his mind, he thought, this man looks broken, probably lazy. People like him never work hard. That's why they end up like this. The worker laughed inside and looked away. Suddenly, the poor man's paper bag ripped open. Apples rolled across the road. People passing by moved away quickly, not wanting to get involved. Some looked at the man with disgust. Others simply ignored him. The poor man bent down slowly, trying to pick up the apples. His hands shook. He almost fell. The worker stood there, sipping his coffee, thinking, should I help? But why should I? This man looks useless. Maybe he chose this life. Maybe he doesn't deserve help. But deep inside, another voice pushed him. Help him! Just help him once. The worker put down his coffee cup and ran to the road. He picked up the apples quickly, one by one. He put them back in the man's bag. Finally, he handed the bag back to the poor man. The poor man looked up at him. A small smile appeared on his face. He whispered, thank you. His voice filled with real feeling. The worker nodded. He was ready to walk away, but the poor man opened his bag. Inside, there were not only apples, there was also a thick envelope. The poor man gave the envelope to the worker and whispered again, people ignore me every day. They pass by as if I don't exist. But you stopped. You cared. Take this. It's for you. The worker froze. He looked at the envelope, confused. He thought, this must be a trick. Who gives strangers an envelope? What is this? But the poor man pressed it into his hand and walked away. The worker held the envelope tightly. He wanted to open it right there, but people were staring. He decided to keep it until he was alone. Later that night, in his small apartment, the worker finally opened the envelope. Inside, there were several papers and a note. It said, I was once rich. I had a family, a business, and everything money could buy. But I lost it all, my family, my health, my joy. Now I walk the streets, testing hearts. I dress like this to see who still has kindness inside. Most people ignore me. Most look down on me. But today you stopped. You helped me when nobody else did. That means your heart is true. This business, this property, and everything in these papers now belong to you. Use it well. The worker's eyes widened. He looked at the papers. They were real ownership papers for a small business. Documents that proved wealth and property. The poor man was not poor at all. He was a retired business owner who had hidden himself in plain sight, testing the world. The worker's mind kept returning to the poor man's face, his weak smile, and his words. He thought, how many times did I pass people like him without caring? How many times did I judge someone just because of their clothes? The next morning, he went back to the same street. He searched everywhere, but the man had disappeared like he never existed. From that day on, he managed the business. He had money, respect, and comfort. He never judged people by their looks again. He never ignored someone who needed help. Comment yes if you would do the same.